AJ Pierzynski, not only a 19-year vet, he played for the Rangers.
Yes, he did.
134 games in 2013. Two-time All-Star, Silver Slugger, 05 World Series champion is joining us here on the D&M Leasing Hotline, AJ Pierzynski. Good morning, man. How are you?
I am doing great. How are y'all?
Doing well. Thank you for asking. Did you ever think that the Rangers could be World Series champions? Like, was this just one of those clubs that are out there, you know, they're one you sign up for, they're going to pay you, but that the Texas Rangers could actually win it all, AJ?
Yeah, well, they should have won it in 2011. I was at those games. They should have won it that year. So, absolutely, 2010 against the Giants, a little bit different story, but 2011 they should have won it. 2012 they had another, 10, 11 they had shots. 13. When I was there, we played the extra game, lost. David Price pitched a great game against us. But, yeah, listen, they always had the resources. They always had the ability to do it. It was just a matter of could they get it done. And finally, to see them get it done was amazing because there's still a lot of guys that were there behind the scenes. Brandon, the clubhouse guy, Lucky, one of some of the trainers, Jamie Reed, a lot of the guys, Hoggy, who's the umpire guy. They were all there. A lot of the Rich Rice, the PR guy, John Blake. Guys that were there, people that were there behind the scenes. I didn't name them all, but a million people to thank, and I'm happy for because they've been there a long time, and they finally got their opportunity to win it all.
How do you feel about their prospects of repeating? We got a lot of expensive older arms that are going to miss the majority, if not all,
first half
entire season. Should we just be thinking of, hey, we got the championship, let's appreciate it, and everything else is icing, or some disappointment that the Rangers aren't feeling like they're in the driver's seat right now?
Well, you look at it and you get to June or July and you have a whole new team coming in on the trade deadlines, which you look at it like. DeGrom, Scherzer, Molly, they all come back. Listen, this team still has enough ability to stay in the race until then. And then you get DeGrom back, boom, you get Scherzer back, you get Tyler Mahle back. I mean, it's like, bam, okay, we're right back in it with a whole new team. So I think there's excitement. There should be excitement. You still have, Corey Seager's not going to be out for that long. You still have Simeon. You got Evan Carter, who's going to be a stud in left field. Jonah Heim's one of the top 5 catchers in baseball for me. You got a lot of good guys. Nate Lowe, Nathaniel Lowe, I don't know how much you guys know him, but one of the best interviews of all time. And he got a great mustache rocking right now. So there's still a ton of talent on this team, and they still have an opportunity. Listen, the Mariners haven't separated themselves this offseason. The Astros haven't done a whole lot other than sign Hader, but you guys beat the Astros last year. I like their chances to get into the postseason. Now, will they repeat? No one's repeated in almost 25 years, so I'm going to say probably not. But listen, they have the opportunity because, 1, they have the talent, 2, they have the financial backing to go get what they need, and 3, they just did it last year, so we know they can do it.
AJ, you brought up DeGrom. Are we at the stage that, and we probably didn't follow him when he was at the Mets as closely as we would if he was here the entire time, but if he's healthy, he's the best in the world, but if he's even the slightest bit dinged up, he's just not going to pitch?
I don't know about that. I mean, he wants to pitch. I know him a little bit, and he wants to pitch. It's not like he had a hangnail. I mean, he did have Tommy John.
Well, yeah, right? From that perspective, yes.
I mean, it's not like he has, an ingrown toenail or something. I mean, he's hurt. Listen, from knowing Jacob and playing against him and seeing him and talking to him the little that I've talked to him over the years, he wants to pitch. He was devastated when he went out. I mean, you saw the emotion when he did his interview. So, listen, he wants to pitch. I think he gets a bad rap, but injuries suck, man. There's a lot of guys that have been derailed by injuries on the path to Hall of Fame, and he's still got an opportunity to right the ship. He was huge, though, I think, for the Rangers last year, and him and Evaldi, because they brought a veteran presence to that starting rotation, and they brought, kind of some gusto and some let's go, boys. And sadly, he got hurt, but Evaldi pitched obviously great for you guys. I think they were huge signings. And when DeGrom comes back, if he's healthy, listen, you're going to be like, wait, he was hurt? We're happy to have him now.
AJ Pierzynski is going to be participating in the 3rd annual Invited Celebrity Classic presented by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. It's going down here at the Las Colinas Country Club, April 15th through the 21st. We'll get to your golf game in a bit, but Adrian Beltre, Hall of Famer. I saw your quote about him on your Instagram page. Just tell our radio audience, if you could, AJ, your thoughts and appreciation for Adrian, either his game, person, or both.
Well, we'll start with this game. We'll end with this person because we'll start with the lesser of the two, and then we'll get to the greater of them. And as a game, listen, he 3,000 hits, a bunch of home runs, Gold Gloves, an unbelievable player. Okay, I mean, just one of the best players I ever played against. One of the best, probably the best third baseman I ever played with. I mean, clearly, he's first ballot Hall of Famer. But just an incredible player. Could do it all. Could hit, could run a little bit better than people think. Obviously, could field, hit for power, got big hits. Listen, I was playing against this guy since 1997. So what? I mean, geez, what is that? That's over 25 years ago now. God, I'm old. God, we're both old, Adrian. But listen, just one of the best. And then as a person, he's even better. I mean, just one of my favorite teammates. So fun to be around. Commanded the locker room better than probably anyone I was ever around. Could relate to anybody. Could relate to anything, any situation. Friends with everybody. Always had a smile on his face. Always had a funny line for you if things weren't going well to get you back to where you needed to go, but he also would kick you in the butt if you needed it. Just a great guy. I mean, better person than player. He's a first ballot Hall of Fame player. So use your imagination on what kind of person he was. Couldn't be happier for him, his wife, his kids, his family, and everybody. Listen, my kid in 2013 used to hit balls with Adrian Jr., AJ, we used to actually call him. So, I'm happy for them. I've known his family forever, and I couldn't be more happy for a guy.
There's still 15 plus of the top 50 free agents available. We're 2 weeks away from spring training. Why does baseball free agency take forever compared to the other sports?
Well, everyone's looking for the right deal, I think, because of trades, because, and also other sports, they kind of condense it down and make it like a 24-hour rush, right? Like you look at football, you look at basketball, it's like 12:01. These guys have deals. Well, how do they already know they were getting a deal from that team? You can't even get a call from 30 teams in that amount of time, but they already have deals. So, there's things that happen on the back end, and baseball just takes longer. And listen, because I do a podcast every day, Foul Territory on YouTube. Listen, I'm happy because we have something to talk about every day. If it was in 24 hours, we'd go 4 months and be like, all right, we're going to analyze the Rangers lineup for the 30th time in 30 days. Well, no, we got something to always talk about. I mean, Corbin Burns getting traded last night was a huge deal, right? You saw Bellinger, Matt Chapman, Blake Snell. I mean, there's a lot of big names still out there, and they'll all eventually sign. But, people always look and say, oh, well, Scott Boras is holding it up. Yeah, but Scott Boras wants the best deal for his client. If he can't find it, he's not going to let him do it. Eventually they'll sign. It's just a matter of where and when.
AJ, did you enjoy all the baseball changes to the game last year like we did?
I tell you what I enjoyed. I enjoyed more emphasis on action, and I enjoyed shorter games. Listen, calling games for Fox, those 3.5, 4-hour games, man, you run out of stories to tell, right? These 2-hour, 30-minute games.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby. I'm home. Game starts at 7. I'm done by 9:30. I got time to grab dinner after the game. Before, it was like, man, I hope I make my flight the next day. So I was all for it. Listen, I love stolen bases. I love the emphasis on balls being put in play more action. Fans want action, whether it's home runs, stolen bases, triples, hit and runs, bunts, whatever it is. Let's get more action because that's what makes fans pay attention. For a long time there was home run, strikeout, walk, right?
Yep.
You could go away for 3 innings, the ball wouldn't be put in play. That sucks. That's not what people want.
Would you tweak anything from the rules that were put in place last year?
I wouldn't have taken the pitch clock down. They made it even shorter, and I didn't think that was a good thing. Other than that, I don't love the amount of throwovers you have because as a former catcher, listen, I needed every advantage I could to throw guys out. But hey, it's made the game faster, so it's a give and take. Guys will get used to it. But no, there's not much I would change. I think baseball's in a pretty good spot right now with the rules and where it goes. Now they'll change something just because everyone's like, oh, we're doing good, so we got to change something. But I think it's in a good spot right now, especially, listen, the fans love the time of game. I'm sure you guys did also. The only thing is when you're broadcasting the game, you got to be really concise because you have so much less time between pitches and so much less time to, throw in replays and stuff.
What about the robot umps, the automated strike zone? I know it was a disaster in the Atlantic League a couple years ago.
No. No, thank you. Plus, if we take out strikes and balls, right, we can't argue anything else anymore because of replay. So if you can't argue balls and strikes, how's the manager supposed to come out and throw a tantrum on the field where everyone gets fired up? I need to see Aaron Boone throw his hat. I need to see guys cover up home plate. I need to see those things. what are exciting plays and fun. I know, we don't want to see that in the game, but I mean, it's still fun. Plus, there's a couple of things that I don't think it's perfected yet. In the Atlantic League, it was what it was. But, I remember, if you guys remember in 2013, Joe Nathan, his 300 save was curveball to Ben Zobrist, and it wasn't exactly the best pitch call in the world.
Yeah.
And everyone was Joe Madden and Ben Zobrist went crazy. And the next day I talked to the home plate umpire, and I said, well, what do you got on that call? And he goes, listen, on the Quest Tech at the time, he goes, that's called a strike because a curveball bends, goes up to down so much. You can almost guarantee guys will start throwing big, slow, loopy curveballs because all it has to do is touch a part of the body and land on top of home plate, and they'll be considered a strike. So guys better learn how to hit big, loopy curveballs again.
AJ Pierzynski here on The Fan. AJ, we always just crap on referees and umps in every sport, but you're right next to one throughout your whole career. What overall grade would you give the home plate umpire?
What would I give them? A grade?
What kind of, grading of the home plate umpire throughout your playing days? Like, what type of actually good job do they actually do? Because all we do is insult them.
Oh, they do a great job. Listen, that's one of the hardest things in the world to do. And think about being an umpire. You're on the road for 7 months straight. You have no home base. You have no home field. Both teams hate you. Every crowd member hates you before you even go out there. If you miss one call, everyone boos the crap out of you for the home team. So it's a hard job. They do a great job most of the time. And all you ask for as a former player is, hey, be honest with me. Hey, I missed that. Okay, I can live with that. But don't be a butt about it, right? Don't be like, oh, screw you. And that's when guys get ejected. Be like, okay, I missed it. And most players would be like, okay, he admitted it. I can move on. The problem you run into is when egos get in the way and people are like, oh, I'm too good. I would never miss a call, and then that's when you see guys get mad. But most of the time, these guys are really good. Most of them are personable. And most of them are fun.
Is there another athlete? Because you were known as, and I don't know how.
You're a pain in the ass.
Were you? What word are you okay with? An irritant? Someone who'd like to mix it up. What would be a word you would be okay with for your testiness?
No, it doesn't bother me. Whatever you guys want to call me, I don't really care. I've been called everything in the world. So, it doesn't. Listen, it was the way I had to play. I've told people this story, and people are like, well, I don't get it. Like, I had to play with a hate, right? I had to play. The way I got out there every day was I played with hate, meaning I had to play mad, angry. And that's what got me going every day. And I would invent it sometimes, and I would make it up, and I'd be playing against my best buddy, and he's pitching, and I'm like, I hate this guy. And then we'll go to dinner after the game, right? That was just the way I had to play. That's what got me going. And I wasn't friendly to the other team. I wanted to win for my team. That's all that mattered. At the end of the day, I wanted to win the games for my team. And if the other team didn't like me, so be it. And I always looked at it like, if they were worried about me on my team with all the great players I played with, then you know what? They were worried about the wrong person. We already have an advantage.
You were cool enough to retweet our tease yesterday, and in that retweet, you said, excited, I'm a Dan Quinn guy. You know Dan Quinn, new head coach of the Commanders?
Well, let's not forget, Dan Quinn coached at a school I'm pretty fond of, University of Florida, for a while. So, yeah. And then also he went to Seattle, where I know some people out there that work with him. So he's a great guy. One time, it's funny, one time he needed shoes. He wanted baseball shoes. My buddy that works for the Seahawks goes, hey, can you get DQ a pair of turfs? Because they don't have the right ones in football. He really likes the baseball ones. So I had to send Dan Quinn, who's, I think at the time he was the DC in Seattle, a pair of turfs because they couldn't get him on the football side. So, we have a long-standing relationship, and I'm happy for him. He's a great guy, and hopefully he'll do a great job in Washington.